Gavin,
Do you
go.
want me to? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Dobbo, it was a weird kind of game. I mean, you've got 17 points between you at the end whistle, and yet with 6 minutes to go, I mean, you were well in it. And if Marnie had nailed his kicks, you probably would have actually won the game. How are you feeling after that game?
Yeah, disappointed. I think I was proud of the effort, especially in the first half. Uh, yeah, disappointed because I thought, with the wind at 13-10, we had enough in us to close it out, and then just a staggering scrum that I didn't understand, and they got on top of us. But I thought they were more effective into the wind than we were. And that's in these conditions, it's you need to be really good into. I thought we were good into the wind, but I thought the way they returned our kicks, we didn't kick particularly well, and we didn't play particularly well with the wind. It's always a challenge. So, but a little bit disappointed. But I think you can't fault our physical effort or our staying in the fight. You're right, Gavin. It doesn't feel like a 27-10 game, but by that stage we were chasing.
It was just I mean, you don't want to blame the kicker, and we're not there, so we don't know how bad the wind really is. So it's hard to be critical. But was there ever a sort of? I mean, I saw Sasha went off like straight after I think the first try was scored. Was there ever a thought in your head that maybe he should actually be on the field to do the kicking, the place
And the
kick?
problem, yeah, so Sasha was cramping before we scored
Okay.
Ben Loder's try. So then he was cramping, but it was disappointing to be cramping on 45 minutes or whatever it was. So it wasn't really a consideration given the Sasha was he was injured. I mean, we couldn't keep him on. I think we would have gone that route had we had another shot at poles, but we didn't after that.
Okay, and then just the final one from me from now. Just, I mean, Salman's yellow card was fair. But the early in the game there was that incident with Carl Nell, I think his surname is, where there was like a swinging arm on Warwick. I thought that could have actually been a yellow or a red.
We were absolutely perplexed by that, Gav. Perplexed. I mean, we're having some discussions out here with Tapper. No, it was disappointing that. Listen, we should have been Saman. I think Saman, as you say, justified yellow, but I wasn't. Yeah, probably wasn't equitable in the end. Having said
Yeah.
that, it probably didn't cost us the game.
And I think you've already mentioned it. The scrum penalties also seemed a bit odd to me.
Yeah. Uh, I don't want to sound like a
Yeah.
sore loser, but I mean, Franz Maherbo was standing with the side. He said he'd never seen a penalty like that, and that was the one led to the try, which got them away at the end. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a big call. That
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Gavin. Stephen is next.
Thanks very much, Mike. Dobbo, commiserations, man. As you say, I know it wasn't a 27-10 game. Reflecting, is it really just maybe an inability to use opportunities to build scoreboard pressure?
Yeah, look, I think if we got a couple of penalties into the wind and got in 6 all or something, it'd been great. Look, I still thought 6-0 at halftime was enough, but as I say, I thought Glasgow were really good into the wind, better than we were in the same sort of stage of the game. And I don't know, we just felt like I felt like when we were with the wind, sometimes we didn't kick with enough distance. I thought they returned the kicks very well, and then I thought we were quite poor on attack in terms of, I don't know if it was the wind, but sort of one-off runners. I don't think I think Sasha cramping and we just sort of seemed to lack another receiver outside of Marnie, and the forwards, I'm not sure we carried as well as we could have. So we didn't attack very well with the wind, and we got through phases, but I don't think we ever looked like we were going to penetrate. So credit to Glasgow's defense as well.
I couldn't on what exactly was the issue with that scrum?
Yeah, I'm really, I don't want to say it. Well, it was against us when I thought it was going our way, and I think at 13-10, that's you go into the 22. That's I think we're winning. But that's not the only reason we lost. But I thought the penalty was maybe a case for it going the other way. But that's going to sound like sour grapes, and it's I don't want to be.
Dobbo, now on reflection, how do you feel about the campaign in general? Obviously, it's not nice to go out in the quarterfinal, but are you happy that there's been growth in the team?
There's growth in terms of like in terms of just getting experience, keeping the squad together. I think despite this evening's result, playing away in these kind of conditions, I mean, the conditions were really tough tonight. As I said, at 13-10, I thought we were going to win it with the last, going into the last 10. So that's the thing. And I think our fight, I don't think we've been as fluid as we were the first two seasons. But I think we proved that, we were 13th after the tour, and we come back and we finished 5th, and we were in the fight here. So we belong at the top table of the URC, and that's important to confirm that we're not just a flash in the pan. I think going final number 5 this season proved we're not a flash in the pan. And I think I don't think many teams in the world could take out as we didn't win, but. You take out Evan Roos, Damien Willems, Dion Free, they're world-class players, 2 world-class finalists. And I think the way we showed some character in playing without them and without the other guys who were all unavailable gives me hope for this group. There's almost a team, like I said yesterday, that's in Cape Town, and that's brilliant. That gives me a lot of that. You have to get towards 2 squads. So we're way off that, but we're a lot closer than we were at the start of the season.
And obviously, prior to the season, I suppose people don't always realize this, but you lost 2 World Cup tight forwards, in Kitshoff and Oris. So how do you feel about Kitshoff coming back, and then also, do you think JD Schikkeling is a guy that also can make a difference to your tight 5?
Yeah, those are 2 massive acquisitions. So that's what I say. We're basically keeping this team together. I don't want to leave it to Mike to do any announcements, but basically keeping this team together and adding JD and Stephen, and that'll, obviously we'll get Dion back, and we'll get Damien back, and we'll get Evan Roos back. So I mean, I think Sabella's coming back, or hopefully coming back. Ruanel's coming back. The Luceds are coming back. So I think we'll mount a better campaign. Also, we won't tour as poorly as we did this year. So very confident about the future. We'd just love to have been in the semi-final. We'll deservedly beaten in the end.
Cool. Thanks, Dobber. Hard luck.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks, Steve. Gavin, your hands up again.
I just wanted to ask, because it's sort of what I wrote in my match report, was that it was like a bit of a microcosm. Are you there? Sorry.
Yeah.
Gav, we hear you, just on mute. Please unmute yourself, please.
How do you mute yourself while you're speaking?
I'll just go back.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You just muted yourself again.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I didn't realize my anger was so bad. Apologies. You see my chins.
I was just going to ask, do you think it's a fair comment to say that in a way this game was a sort of microcosm of your season, because you had sort of like, it was a bit of a curate's egg kind of game. Like, it was good in parts, but it was also quite bad in parts. And you did sort of seem to sort of like, I felt that you conspired against yourselves quite often this season. Like losing to Ospreys, for instance, and losing those overseas games against lesser opposition. And in this game as well, obviously the missed kicks being one thing, but there were other mistakes that you made that you could sort of say was like sort of conspiring against yourselves.
Yeah, I think it is a good metaphor for the season. This game, I tell you, the examples would be, actually we're probably more disciplined in this season, but if you watch the way those balls bounced in the second half, it was just exactly this season. I can't remember one example where I felt like we got really lucky this season, which has happened. To be fair, it's how life works. It bounced for us in the first season. Last year was probably par, but everything against us, and then some erratic maul defense. It's probably not our same normal rhythm on attack. So I think it's a fair comment, and a lot of courage. I think you can't say we weren't physically at the races or courageous or effort today. So you're right. I think that's a fair comment.
Okay, and just one other comment about like the South African challenge, when you go away and you have to fly via where you had to fly via. Just in those final 10 minutes, and it happened to you against Leicester Tigers, I know, with your second string team, where you sort of suddenly, like right at the end, you conceded a try. Is there sort of like I just sort of felt like I know that the referee call at the scrum was wrong, and I agree with you on that, but it was almost like at the end. I suppose also once Henko Venter had scored that try, the guys were just shattered. But is there sort of like a dead leg aspect that comes in really in a game like that so soon after you've travelled across the equator?
Look, I actually thought it was the back end of the first half that I saw the tight forwards like the Joe and them blowing. And I don't know how much, because that's unusual, for them to go before half time. But with about 5 minutes to go, I thought the tight forwards were really dropping off. And that's probably why we made the sub so early in the second half. Look, we're grateful to be here. We flew okay, but we flew over 3 days, and that's the truth. The first party left on Monday, the last party left on Wednesday night. So it means you can't really train, and it's important to train in a week of a quarterfinal. So that was well, I don't know if that was affected why the guys physically weren't there, or thanks to Glasgow's intensity. I actually don't know the answer, but it's like we dropped off at the back end of the first half. But the back end of the second half, we were there. Yeah, I actually don't know.
Okay, cool. Okay, no problem.
Cool. Thanks so much, guys. Dobbo, thanks for your time. And thanks to Craig for helping us out.
Yeah,
Safe
thanks,
travel, Dobbo.
thanks very much. Thanks, chap. Sorry about that.
No problem. Fly home safely. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, chap.
See you
Sorry.
soon.